Today we're going all the way to Ukraine.
So,
We found this BizData Podcast. This episode features Oleksandr Smazhuk,
cut.
who is a strategic marketing expert,
Yeah.
and Oleksandr Mukhin.
Two Oleksandr.
Two Oleksandrs, yes. And he is a sales and negotiation trainer and consultant. So both of these guys are, the real deal in Ukraine. And they're discussing some practical advice on sales and negotiations, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always looking for tips on that.
Absolutely.
It never hurts to get better at that.
No, never hurts. Never hurts. Everybody listening is either in sales
Right.
or wants to improve their negotiation tactics.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah.
So I think we can all benefit
Yeah.
from this deep dive.
Looks like you're really interested in staying ahead of the game in sales and marketing, especially in these uncertain times.
For sure.
And, you've got a really insightful guide here.
Yeah.
Oleksandr Mukhin.
Right.
A sales expert with over 13 years of experience.
Wow.
And specifically, you chose an interview with him from the Ukrainian podcast BizData.
Now that's interesting. Choosing a source from a region facing such intense challenges,
Right.
it really suggests you're looking for strategies that aren't just effective, but resilient.
Exactly. We're going to pull out Mukhin's most insightful, actionable advice
Okay.
so you can adapt and thrive no matter what the market throws at you.
Love it. So where does he start?
Well, he starts by painting this really vivid picture of the business world as a downward escalator.
A downward escalator.
Yeah.
I like that visual.
You got to be constantly running, even sprinting,
Yeah.
just to stay in place.
Just to stay in place.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's unpack this downward escalator idea a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
What does he actually mean by that?
Well, he's talking about this relentless pressure to adapt and evolve. What worked yesterday might be obsolete today.
Oh, for sure.
And this is especially true during times of crisis,
Right.
like the one Ukraine is facing.
Yeah.
Mukhin really argues that clinging to outdated strategies in such an environment is a recipe for disaster.
Okay, so how do we avoid getting swept away by this metaphorical downward escalator?
Well, Mukhin emphasizes continuous experimentation.
Okay.
He's a big believer in testing everything.
Like what?
Marketing approaches, sales scripts,
Mm-hmm.
communication styles, you name it.
Okay.
And it's not about finding that one perfect formula.
Right.
It's about constantly tweaking and refining based on what the data tells you.
He actually shares a surprising insight about this.
Oh, yeah.
He says that even well-established companies often get complacent.
Really?
Yeah, they stick with what's worked in the past. And they miss out on valuable insights
Oh, I see.
that could be gained through testing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, he gives an example of a company he worked with that had been using the same sales script for years.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't until they started A/B testing different variations
Not bad.
that they realized they could significantly increase their conversion rate
Wow.
with just a few simple tweaks.
God, that's incredible.
So it sounds like experimentation isn't just about trying new things.
Right.
It's about having this mindset of continuous improvement,
Yeah,
always looking for ways to optimize and refine your approach.
precisely. And this is where Mukhin brings in the topic of AI.
AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sees it as a powerful tool for experimentation and optimization.
But a lot of people in sales are worried about AI taking their jobs.
He addresses that fear head on.
Okay.
He argues that AI is more of a partner than a replacement.
Interesting.
He actually shares an anecdote about using ChatGPT to generate sales scripts. He found that some were surprisingly effective, while others were duds.
Yeah.
But the real value was in the process itself.
I see.
It forced him to think outside the box
Okay.
and come up with new approaches he wouldn't have considered otherwise.
So don't be afraid of AI. Embrace it.
Exactly.
Use it as a creative partner to help you brainstorm, test, and refine your approach.
He even suggests using AI to analyze customer data
Oh, wow.
and identify patterns that humans might miss.
Okay.
This can help you tailor your messaging.
Yeah.
And offers more effectively.
Now, that's something I'm sure our listener will want to explore further.
Yeah.
What specific types of scripts did he generate with ChatGPT?
Well, he categorized the scripts based on their tone and structure.
Okay.
He looked at things like the opening line,
Mm-hmm.
the value proposition, the call to action,
Oh.
even the overall length.
Interesting.
He found that shorter, more conversational scripts tended to perform better than long formal ones. And he used A/B testing to validate these findings.
That's a great example of how to use AI strategically.
For sure.
But even with all the advancements in technology, Mukhin is adamant that the human element will always be crucial in sales.
Absolutely. He makes a really powerful point
What's that?
about the importance of building genuine connections.
Okay.
People buy from people they trust and like.
Right.
And no matter how sophisticated AI becomes, it can't replicate the empathy, the intuition, and emotional intelligence that humans bring to the table.
So while AI can help us optimize our processes
For sure.
and become more efficient.
Yeah.
It's our ability to connect with people on a human level that will ultimately determine our success in sales.
He goes on to highlight his own career trajectory.
Oh, really?
He built a successful career through organic content creation and personal branding.
That's really interesting. What specific steps did he take to build his personal brand?
He focused on consistently sharing valuable content related to his expertise.
Engaging in online communities, and building relationships with other thought leaders in his field.
Interesting.
He didn't try to be someone he wasn't.
Yeah.
He just showed up authentically and shared his knowledge generously.
That's a great reminder that building a strong personal brand isn't about self-promotion.
Right.
It's about providing value and connecting with people.
Exactly.
And you know what's interesting?
What's that?
It circles back to that downward escalator analogy.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Building a personal brand and becoming a thought leader in your field is like building your own upward escalator.
Exactly.
You're constantly elevating yourself and staying ahead of the curve.
You're creating your own momentum.
Yeah.
And making yourself indispensable.
Love it.
All right, before we move on,
Yeah.
there's one more thing I want to unpack from this first section.
Okay.
Mukhin talks about the importance of emotional intelligence,
Yes.
especially for salespeople.
He considers it the foundation of success in any field, but especially sales. Okay, but he doesn't just say be emotionally intelligent.
Right.
He actually gives some specific techniques.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of those?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of self-awareness.
Okay.
He says salespeople need to be attuned to their own emotional state
Right.
and how it impacts their interactions with clients. He recommends practices like mindfulness and journaling
Interesting.
to help develop this awareness.
And he doesn't stop there.
No.
He also talks about developing empathy,
Right.
the ability to understand and share the feelings of others.
Okay.
He gives specific strategies for active listening and asking questions that help you uncover the client's underlying needs and motivations.
Interesting.
He even shares a personal anecdote
Oh,
about a time when he almost lost a major deal
really?
because he was too focused on pushing his own agenda
Wow.
and not truly listening to the client's concerns.
And what happened? How did he turn it around?
Well, he realized he needed to shift his mindset. He took a step back, listened attentively to the client's concerns, and acknowledged their validity.
Okay.
By putting himself in the client's shoes,
Right.
he was able to build rapport, address their concerns, and ultimately close the deal.
Wow. That's powerful.
That's a great example of how emotional intelligence isn't just some fluffy concept.
Right.
It's a set of skills that can be learned and practiced, and it can make a tangible difference in your success as a salesperson.
For sure. Mukhin then dives into a concept that might resonate with you.
Okay.
He calls them limiting beliefs.
Limiting beliefs.
Yeah, these are those negative thoughts we all carry around
Yeah.
that can sabotage our success without us even realizing it.
You mean like, I'm not good at public speaking, or I'll never be able to close a deal this big?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mukhin says these beliefs often form from past experiences,
Right.
or what we've been told can act like invisible barriers.
Okay.
They prevent us from taking risks, pursuing opportunities, and ultimately reaching our full potential.
So how do we break free from these limiting beliefs, according to Mukhin?
He has a two-step approach.
Okay.
First, identify the culprit.
Right.
Shine a light on those beliefs holding you back. Mukhin recommends paying attention to your self-talk.
Self-talk.
Yeah. What negative thoughts pop up when you face a challenge?
That makes sense, but sometimes those beliefs are so ingrained it's hard to even recognize them.
That's where the second step comes in.
Okay.
Reframing.
Reframe it.
Mukhin says we need to actively challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with empowering ones.
Can you give an example of what that might look like in practice?
Let's say you're struggling with networking.
Okay.
You might have a limiting belief that says, I'm awkward and people don't enjoy talking to me.
I think a lot of people can relate to that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So instead of letting that belief hold you back,
Right.
Mukhin suggests reframing it.
Okay.
You could say something like, I'm still learning how to network effectively, and I'm getting better with each interaction.
That's a much more positive and empowering way to look at it.
Right.
It shifts the focus from a fixed trait to a skill that can be developed.
Exactly. And Mukhin argues that this shift in mindset is essential for success in sales. It allows you to approach challenges with confidence and resilience,
Yeah.
knowing that you have the power to change and grow.
This ties in nicely with another piece of advice he offers
What's that?
about building a strong personal brand, right?
Yes. He stresses that a powerful personal brand can open doors and create opportunities you might not have even imagined.
Oh, okay.
And it all starts with consistently sharing your expertise.
So it's not about being a social media influencer or trying to be famous.
Right.
It's about showcasing your knowledge and providing value to your audience.
Exactly. Mukhin says it's about becoming a thought leader in your field.
Okay.
He actually gives some specific tactics for doing this.
Like what?
He recommends creating content that educates and inspires your audience, participating in relevant online communities, and collaborating with other experts in your field.
He emphasizes that authenticity is key.
Yeah.
People can spot a fake a mile away.
Right.
So don't try to be someone you're not.
Just be yourself.
Right.
Share your knowledge generously and connect with people authentically.
That's how you build trust, and trust is the foundation of any successful relationship.
Especially in sales.
Especially in sales.
He even goes so far as to say that building a strong personal brand is almost like creating your own upward escalator.
Oh, I like that.
Constantly elevating your profile and staying ahead of the competition.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's about taking control of your career trajectory and creating your own opportunities.
Sure.
But even with the best personal brand,
Yeah.
there will be times when you face challenges, rejections, and setbacks.
And that brings us back to the importance of emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Mukhin argues that the ability to manage your emotional state, especially in the face of adversity, is crucial for success in sales.
He doesn't just say, stay positive.
Right.
He actually gives some very specific techniques.
One of his favorites is something he calls the 3-minute rule.
Okay, I've never heard of that. What is it?
It's deceptively simple, but powerful.
Okay.
Whenever you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, Mukhin says to set a timer for 3 minutes and allow yourself to fully experience those negative emotions.
Yeah.
Don't try to suppress them or push them away.
And what happens after the 3 minutes are up?
That's when you shift gears.
Okay.
You actively choose to focus on something positive or empowering.
Okay.
It could be a gratitude practice, a visualization exercise, or simply listening to your favorite upbeat song.
I like that. It's a way to acknowledge those negative emotions without letting them control you.
Exactly. It's about developing emotional resilience. And Mukhin says this resilience is what allows you to bounce back from setbacks, stay motivated, and maintain a positive outlook even when things get tough.
So we've talked about the importance of emotional intelligence for managing our own state. But Mukhin also stresses the need to understand the client's emotional state, right?
He's very clear about this. He says people buy based on emotion and then justify their decisions with logic.
That's an interesting way to put it. So it's not enough to just present the facts and figures.
No.
You need to connect with your client on an emotional level.
Yep.
Tap into their desires, fears, and aspirations.
He offers some practical advice for doing this.
Like what?
He emphasizes the importance of active listening, asking open-ended questions, and reflecting back what you hear to ensure you truly understand the client's perspective.
It's about going beyond just hearing the words and really tuning in to the emotions behind them.
He even suggests paying attention to nonverbal cues.
Oh, really?
Like body language and tone of voice.
Okay.
These cues can often reveal more than words alone.
He actually shares a story about a time he closed a major deal, not by focusing on his product's features, but by addressing the client's underlying fear of making the wrong decision.
By acknowledging and empathizing with that fear, Mukhin was able to build trust and create a sense of safety for the client.
Yeah.
And that's what ultimately sealed the deal.
It sounds like he's saying the best salespeople are almost like emotional detectives.
Yeah.
They're constantly looking for clues to understand what's driving the client's behavior.
And they use that understanding to tailor their approach, build rapport, and create a genuine connection that goes beyond the transaction.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the importance of experimentation and AI to the power of personal branding and emotional intelligence. But I want to bring it back to something Mukhin said at the beginning of the interview. He talked about the business world being like a dynamic game, where the rules are constantly changing.
He uses that analogy to emphasize the importance of adaptability and continuous learning. He argues that in today's rapidly evolving world, we can't afford to become complacent. We need to be constantly expanding our knowledge, honing our skills, and staying ahead of the curve.
He actually gives some concrete advice for doing this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he recommends setting aside time each week for professional development, whether it's reading industry publications, taking online courses, attending conferences, or simply engaging in conversations with other experts in your field.
He also stresses the importance of seeking out diverse perspectives and challenging your assumptions.
Interesting.
He says it's easy to get stuck in a bubble and only consume information that confirms our existing beliefs.
But that's how you miss out on valuable insights and opportunities for growth.
Exactly. Mukhin says it's important to be willing to unlearn old ways of thinking. And embrace new ideas, even if they initially challenge our comfort zones.
He also talks about the importance of finding mentors and coaches who can provide guidance, support, and accountability.
He says that having someone to challenge you, push you outside your comfort zone, and help you see your blind spots can be invaluable.
So it sounds like he's saying that continuous learning isn't just about acquiring knowledge.
Right.
It's about cultivating a mindset of curiosity, openness, and a willingness to constantly evolve. It really is a mindset shift, going from clinging to what we know to embracing the unknown.
It is.
That can be kind of unsettling for people, even seasoned sales professionals.
Mukhin acknowledges that. He even admits to struggling with it himself at times.
Right.
But he argues that this willingness to embrace uncertainty is precisely what separates those who thrive in the ever-changing world of sales from those who get left behind.
He also brings up a point I found really interesting.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
He says one of the biggest mistakes salespeople make, especially in tough economic times, is retreating and becoming less visible.
Oh, wow.
He's adamant that that's the worst thing you can do.
What does he suggest instead?
He uses this great analogy. He says, when the storm hits, you don't want to be the ship hiding in the harbor. You want to be the lighthouse guiding others to safety.
I love that. So when things get tough,
you
don't want to disappear.
Right.
You want to double down on building relationships, providing value and staying top of mind with your audience.
Exactly.
Right.
He even suggests getting creative with your outreach during challenging times.
Oh, how so?
For example, instead of, expensive marketing campaigns, focus on offering free webinars or workshops that provide valuable information and build goodwill.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about showing your audience that you're there for them, that you understand their challenges, and that you're committed to providing solutions.
Yeah. He also stresses the importance of building a strong team.
Right.
He argues that you can't do everything yourself, especially as your business grows.
Yeah.
You need to surround yourself with talented people who share your vision and values.
He actually gives some really practical advice for building and leading a high-performing sales team.
What are some of the key takeaways there?
Well, he talks about the importance of creating a culture of collaboration. Where team members feel valued, supported, and empowered to contribute their ideas.
Yeah.
He emphasizes the importance of clear communication, setting clear expectations, and providing regular feedback.
It sounds like he's advocating for a leadership style that's more about empowering and inspiring your team rather than micromanaging them.
Exactly. He says the best leaders are those who can create an environment where their team members feel motivated, challenged, and excited to come to work every day.
And he also stresses the importance of investing in your team's development.
Yes.
Providing opportunities for training, mentorship, and growth.
He says that when you invest in your team, you're not just investing in their individual success.
Right.
You're investing in the long-term success of your business.
Now, we've talked about the importance of adapting to change, building relationships, and leading teams. But there's one more thread that runs through everything Mukhin talks about. Authenticity.
Authenticity.
He argues that in today's world where consumers are bombarded with marketing messages and sales pitches, authenticity is more important than ever.
People are increasingly skeptical of anything that feels fake or inauthentic.
Oh, yeah.
They can spot a phony a mile away.
So how do we cultivate authenticity in our sales and marketing efforts?
What's the little bitty? Mukhin has a simple but powerful answer. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to copy what others are doing. Just show up as your genuine self. Share your unique perspective and let your personality shine through.
He also encourages businesses to align their values with their actions.
In other words, walk the talk.
Walk the talk. If you say you're customer-centric, prove it through your actions.
Right.
Don't just say you care about your community. Get involved and make a difference.
Exactly. Authenticity isn't just a marketing strategy. It's a way of life.
I like that.
And when you're true to yourself and your values, it shows in everything you do.
Right.
And that resonates with people.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's distill Mukhin's wisdom into some key takeaways for our listener.
Okay, let's do it.
Embrace change and uncertainty. The business landscape is dynamic and unpredictable. Those who are most adaptable will thrive.
Build genuine relationships. People buy from people they trust. And focus on connecting with your audience on a human level.
Invest in your personal and professional growth.
Yes.
Continuous learning is essential for staying ahead of the curve. Never stop exploring new ideas and developing your skills.
And above all, be authentic.
Right.
Let your personality shine through. Align your values with your actions and build trust through genuine connections.
Mukhin reminds us that success isn't a destination, it's a journey.
That's a good one.
And the journey is often filled with twists, turns, and unexpected challenges.
But by embracing the principles we've discussed today, you can navigate those challenges with confidence, resilience, and a sense of purpose.
And who knows, you might even find yourself enjoying the ride.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.